Welcome, and thank you for joining me for another Random Gaming News, where today we're going to take a look at a few quick mentions, a couple of big studio heads leaving Rockstar and the Coalition, plus Wonderful 101 and what the hell's going on with that. Then we're going to take a look at my pick of the week, the game I've been playing and loving and want to tell you about. Please check out the links down in the description, as there is a YouTuber I think you guys might find interesting, plus the Discord where you might actually want to come and hang out or just suggest a couple of news stories if you want to hear them here on the channel. Please share the video, as that would actually help out the channel the most. Hit the like button if you did enjoy today's video, subscribe if you haven't already, and hit the bell icon to be notified of my next video, and let's go ahead and start the show. First up here for the quick mentions, let's take a look at the back of the Xbox Series X, as we had that mysterious port that we got a look at when somebody leaked some pictures over on Twitter, and a lot of people were speculating exactly what that means for us. So it does seem that the Rod got the answer, where it is going to be expandable memory that you can pop into the console, which is a good thing in one side because you actually get the chance to replace something that does damage or get broken on the console versus having to send it in and waiting for repairs or anything along those lines. But it might also be bad because if Microsoft makes this a proprietary piece of something that has to go in there a certain way or a certain design, then it does mean that they can price it at whatever they like, kind of putting a monopoly on that specific item itself, and that might be bad for consumers. But Microsoft is pretty good about those kind of things. But we'll just have to wait and see what they have to say when we get some more actual news from about the console itself. Now we have some delays actually coming over from Nintendo for the Animal Crossing themed Switch and Ring Fit Adventure, and it just seems that Foxconn, the company that makes those for Nintendo, is going to be shutting their doors for a little bit due to the coronavirus, and that's something that's perfectly okay by me. I'd rather get those products a little bit later than to get them with either like the coronavirus on there or risk people's lives just to make something for video games. It's not as important as somebody staying safe during these hard times. And Private Division's actually saying the same thing about the Outer Worlds port, that's going to be pushed back a little bit because the studio that's working on it is actually going to be shutting their doors for a little bit as well due to that same virus. But we did get some good news out of that delay. It does seem that we're actually getting cartridges for the game for the Outer Worlds on the Switch versus getting that download code that was going to be in there, which is really cool by me because I do like having the physical copy with that cartridge on there and put the case in my shelf and have the copy of the game in there and everything. I like the way that it looks, and it just feels all right by me. Now I want to talk about the PS5 Home Page, and that was actually put up this week on the PlayStation site itself, and it would seem that some people over on Reddit actually noticed this sneaky little setup that was put up for the PS5 Home Page, and when you go to the actual site, this is the statement that you're met with. We began to share some of the incredible features you can expect from PlayStation 5, but we're not quite ready to fully unveil the next generation of PlayStation. Sign up below to be among the first to receive updates as we announce them, including news on the PlayStation 5 release date, PlayStation 5 price, and upcoming roster of PS5 launch games. Now, it would just seem that Sony's not ready to release a lot of information on the PlayStation 5 as of yet. I would be very interested to see what we're going to get out of the next state of play. That does seem that that's actually going to be pushed out until March, whereas last year we got it towards the end of February, kind of the beginning, maybe middle. I'm not too sure about the date, but I know we got it in February, and it's just something that I'm very interested to see what's going to be going on. Like they said, the pricing, the launch date, the actual games that are going to be coming with it, because it is something that does pique my interest because I do have a PC. I don't really see the purpose of getting the Xbox Series X when I have something that can run all the games that are on there at a much better stable frame rate at 144 hertz per second. So I'd rather get the Xbox games on there versus on Xbox Games Pass, because those will be dropped on their first day exclusives that are coming from Microsoft. So I want to know what's coming from the PS5, because that does seem like it's the console of choice for me to actually be picking up this holiday season. Now let's talk about a couple of studio heads that are stepping down from their positions, and one moving somewhere else and the other one not really clear on exactly what they're going to be doing next. First up, we have Rod Furgusson. He's actually one of the people that are one of the studio heads over at the Coalition. They are the ones that make the Gears of War games for Microsoft, and he's helped actually co-create those games and stepping away to go over to Blizzard to help out with a new Diablo game. And he actually put out a tweet stating, "Starting in March, I will join Blizzard to oversee the Diablo franchise. Leaving is bittersweet as I love our Gears family, the fans, and everyone at the Coalition and Xbox. Thank you, it has been an honor and a privilege to work with you all." And it is something that's a little bit shocking because one of the co-creators of the Gears of War franchise is leaving to go to another studio to help out on one of their biggest, franchises over there. And it is something that is a little bit, like he said, bittersweet for the fans actually of Gears of War series, because he's not going to be seeing the actual second trilogy all the way to the end, because we most likely will be getting that 6th game at some point coming out on the Xbox Series X nonetheless. But it is something that might be good for the Diablo fans, because Blizzard as of late with like Warcraft 3 Reforged hasn't had a very good reputation among their fans. So maybe he has something in mind to actually turn that studio around and get everybody in the right direction to actually make people back on board with Blizzard, because Blizzard was one of those companies that I actually loved playing their games back in their day. I love World of Warcraft. Warcraft 3 was one of my favorite games growing up as a kid, and playing StarCraft 2 here recently on the free version, that was still pretty fun in and of itself. And now in 2019, that game came out, I believe, in the early 2000s, late 1990s. So if that game can still be fun, Blizzard has some titles and some stuff that they could do that he might be able to help out with, and maybe bring some new light to definitely the Diablo series, but hopefully across the studio as a whole. And I'd like to know more of what happens, so we'll have to wait to see what happens here with Rod Furgusson on March whenever he goes over to Blizzard. The second studio head that's going to be shaking up the industry here, that's actually leaving the studio that he co-created as well, and that's going to be Dan Houser. He co-created Rockstar Games back in 1998 with his brother Sam Houser, and now is actually going to be leaving the studio after an extended break that started back in 2019. 2K Studios actually put a filing out with the actual board of employees, or whatever it's called, where you actually have to file with them to say that one of your employees is no longer going to be working with you. And it did have an actual tiny statement that I want to go over a line or two of it here. After an extended break, beginning in the spring of 2019, Dan Houser, Vice President, Creative at Rockstar Games, will be leaving the company. Dan Houser's last day will be March 11th, 2020. And like I said, that's kind of a shakeup at the studio itself, because he wasn't there for almost an entire year now, but it is one of those things I'd love to know where actually he's going to be. It does kind of seem like maybe he's just going to retirement, which is fine in and of itself. The guy's made a lot of great games. He's helped out with Red Dead Redemption 1 and 2, all of the Grand Theft Auto games, Bully, all that kind of stuff that's come from Rockstar Games. He's had a hand in helping make. So it is something that is sad to see him actually leave, and wonder what actually Grand Theft Auto 6 is going to be looking like, because even though they're not saying anything about it, said that they're actually working on it, it's all but confirmed in rumors that Grand Theft Auto 6 at some point is going to be coming out, and we all knew it would. We just don't know exactly what the game is going to be about, where it's going to be placed, or anything along those lines yet. I'd like to know what you guys thought about both these studio heads, one leaving, going to another one, and one just seeming to go off into retirement all by himself. Leave those down in the comments below. I'd love to know your thoughts on both of those here. Now let's talk about the Kickstarter going on for Wonderful 101. So at the end of last week, we got some rumors that we were getting a Kickstarter for Wonderful 101 to get that remastered and brought from the Wii U over to some modern consoles. And it does seem that those rumors are right, because as of Tuesday, I believe it was, Platinum Games put out a video explaining that they were actually putting out a Kickstarter to get Wonderful 1 remastered and brought over to PC, PS4, and the Switch. And it does seem that we've met that goal of $1.2 million to bring those to those set consoles. It's almost at $1.5 million as of making this video, and if it does reach $1.5 million, we actually get a 2D side-scrolling adventure called Luca's First Mission. Now if it meets $1.75 million of that Kickstarter, we get an actual remix of the soundtrack from a secret special guest, and that's something that I really find interesting, that they're doing a lot of fan service over there on the Kickstarter, because you can get things like jackets, you can get toys, digital copies, physical copies. You can actually get blocked by the director of the studio, who is famous for blocking people. I can't pronounce his name, so I'm just going to place it right here on the screen, but he will block you over on Twitter if you ask stupid questions, or if you pay for his Kickstarter too. So that's something that's interesting, because I've actually never played Wonderful 101, but it was one of those games I always thought that would be cool to play, but it was only on the Wii U, and I didn't buy one of those consoles because it wasn't one of those that I really felt like I needed to buy, and I was kind of right about it. But the Wii was good, and now the Switch is awesome, and it would be cool to get the Wonderful 101 brought over to the Switch, because I would love to play it on there. If not, maybe on the PC. as they are actually getting some much needed updates for the game, because I think it ran at like 720p over on the Wii U. Did not do great on frame rates, and it does seem like a lot of the stuff that they will be adding to the game will be stabilization to frame rates, keeping it at least 60 frames per second, up to 4K on PC and the PlayStation 4, and then keeping it 60 frames per second for the Nintendo Switch at that 720p, just giving it more stabilization. Even though the Switch is at 720p, I really feel like some of the graphics on the handheld mode are really nice, and they put out very beautifully. It's not something that you really notice that it's at a 720p panel, so I think that they can actually do a lot on the Switch side of things, as well as the PS4 and PC. I'd love to see what the modding community actually comes up with this game over on PC, because it's one of those ones that probably lends itself pretty easily to add on secret characters, or new missions, or anything along those lines, new theme songs. I'd love to see what they have to come up with over in the modding community. Now, it does seem that this game will be coming out in April, I believe that they say, so it's one that they probably already had in the works. They just needed some more funding to get it done, which does seem weird, because Platinum Games did actually get some funding from Tencent at the end of last year, and they also put up their own website where they did state that they're putting out 4 new games this year, so I'd be interested to see what those other 3 are, because Wonderful 101 is probably one of those slots, and I'm very excited to get an actual physical copy of the game whenever it does come out this April. Now it's probably my favorite part of the video, where I get to ramble on a bit about a game I've been playing this week and give you my thoughts on it here. So that game is actually going to be Monster Hunter World, and that's one of those games that I've loved playing from the beginning on my Xbox, and I'm so glad I picked it up again on this sale over on Humble Bundle for my PC. And if you don't know what Monster Hunter World, it has a very simple loop to it. You kill monsters to get the materials from their body to make bigger weapons to kill even bigger monsters, and that goes over and over again until you get tired of playing the game. Now, it's one of those things that I've loved playing it, and it does seem kind of simple in that concept, but it's really a lot more than that. There's a lot more that goes into it. There's 14 weapons that you can use, there's different play styles in there, and there is a variety of different monsters that you get to take down with it. So it's one of those things that I highly encourage anybody that loves playing games like Destiny or anything along those lines that gives you a little bit of a challenge to it there, or a strategy. This would be a perfect kind of pickup, because it is a live service style game that you can come back to every day and get a lot of stuff out of it, but you can also just keep doing more stuff, meet people in the community, make a lot of awesome friends. And I've had a lot of fun playing the new expansion Iceborne that came out with it here recently as well over on PC. So if you guys do like this game, or have any thoughts about Monster Hunter World, I'd love to talk to you about it down in the comments below. Well, that's our video for today. If you guys do have any thoughts about anything in today's video, please leave those down in the comments below. I'd love to have some conversations with you, see what you guys thought about anything, or just want to, tell me I'm a jackass. Go ahead and leave those down in the comments below. I'd love to hear from you there. Make sure that you're also checking out the links in the description, because there's a lot of news articles in there, plus the YouTuber that you can actually check out, and a few extra secret Discord server links. You might want to check those out, because they're not always the same. Also, please share this video to help out the channel. That would be greatly appreciated if you guys could do that. Hit the like button if you did enjoy today's video, subscribe if you haven't already, and hit that bell icon to be notified of my next video. And as always, I have been Tasty, this has been Random Gaming News, and have a wonderful fucking gaming night. I was gonna do that normal end card stuff, but you know what to do.